episode 3. Today's topic we're going to be talking about is problems with microtransactions. Today we got a guest here today that, it has been a struggle today trying to find someone for this episode. I was thinking about rescheduling for Thursday, but here's a guest. Let him introduce himself.
What's up, guys? My name's Kleins, but you're going to see my gamer tag as I2 Major. Um, I'm an Xbox player for life. I'm actually the owner of Vendetta Uprising, which has competitive teams in League of Legends and Call of Duty. So you guys can go check us out and everything. Our ad is at VendettaU_GG. Yeah, I've been playing GTA for about a year here and there, and started off as a competitive Call of Duty player, and currently stepped down from that role, and now owning my own org.
So one thing you were supposed to be, I think it was unfortunate because I think we were supposed to feature in the first episode, but I think you contacted a little bit late. Also, you were not available that day.
Yep.
We're gonna start it off with this since it's gonna be a little shorter than the first episode. What is your kind of goal with Vendetta overall?
My goal for Vendetta, we started off the org as mainly a base that players can come to and be able to show off their skills and be able to compete. Ultimately, our goal is to definitely get our name out there because we're just starting off, and really to help players grow and help them compete to their full potential is really our goal. And be able to have players, allow them to have a home to compete under, and to have staff that understand what the players go through to be able to compete at the level that they do. We have wonderful staff under org that really understand the competitive scene, and they basically help me out with signing teams. They help me figure out what's best for the org, and basically it's just to help players grow.
A good story right there. Kind of based on kind of the topic, what is your kind of plans for the kind of future and like the upcoming weeks? What do you kind of want to achieve? Like, what do you want to do to help, make yourself a bigger name, with your players, you know, making a small org grow into something that, you can value, that has value.
Um, so can you explain that question a little bit better, please? Because I'm
So
having
what do
a
I just
hard
say in
time.
upcoming weeks, sorry.
You're good.
What do you kind of want to do to, what do you want to kind of achieve as the CEO in the next couple of weeks that can help, really get you a full commitment to this?
Well,
If
currently
that's
we're
a little
working
easier.
with different companies to help sponsor us. Currently, we're working with Main Gear, which, if you don't know what that is, it's the company that makes those really cool PCs that light up and you can see through them. We're also working with Razer currently to get a sponsorship by them. Um, and we're working on picking up different rosters. We're currently having our eyes on one roster in particular. Um, if you don't know what Infamous League is, it's for Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbow Six, yeah.
We're currently looking at the Orgless team, which is currently in first place in Gold League for them, which is their top league, and they're in first place currently. And I hit them up, and so far they're pretty interested. Don't know if it's 100% going through yet, but hopefully it does. And we're working on getting different staff members for like player development. Um, So far, we have different managers. We have a League of Legends manager. We have a esports manager. We currently don't have a COD manager. Planning on trying to get one, and definitely trying to go out into content creation as well. Trying to build our name into different platforms, not just on Twitter and Xbox and PC. Trying to build it onto Twitch, YouTube, stuff like that.
Oh, interesting. Oh, sorry. Something actually went. I think it was like the emergency broadcast system actually went back into one of my the TVs in my house, but it didn't go on Xbox, so that's good. Um, I think one actually that's kind of good. I think I questioned it when I featured in the first episode is the content creation side about it,
Hmm.
and I kind of really thinking about it now. I think especially I think because the H22 was kind of more a little bit more developed. Since you guys are new, I think that's a good thing. Just kind of focus on content creation. Um,
Hmm.
Early, um, I question it because I think it was because of how you're gonna pay your players and all that, but
Right.
that's kind of now thinking
Well,
about it.
I agree with what you guys said. Sorry to cut you off. I agree with what you guys
That's
said
good.
in terms of paying players versus paying content creators. Um, because the players are going to be the ones that win tournaments. They're the ones that are competing. Content creators, they're just sitting down in a chair making videos or vlogging and stuff like that. I don't feel like if we were to pay content creators, it is going to be a smaller amount than what we pay our players.
Yeah, I think that's how
Because
it should be set up.
cur-
Oh, well,
currently
you
we
can
don't
go.
have any
Sorry.
salaries right now. Um, but we're working towards getting salaries. But it's going to be like the managers are going to get paid. The players are definitely going to get paid. Um, and our org takes 10% versus DH22 is 11%. Because we feel like the players are the one that are competing. They deserve to have more of a percentage instead of 89. I think it adds up for ZH22 players versus our 90%. Our players get
That's a 1%
90% of their
difference.
earnings.
Big. It's really big.
Because we definitely want the players to feel comfortable and feel like we're not just taking their money.
Well, I think
So
that's a big
it's
thing. You kind of want
definitely
to
gonna
match,
uh, we're just taking 10% of their earnings. That's going to go towards their salaries. That's going to go towards multiple different things for our players. So
yeah,
yeah,
you
but
can just.
to reiterate that I agree with what you guys said in the first episode in terms of paying players versus paying content creators.
Imagine how much money the org has. I think.
Yeah,
I think if you're like a medium-sized or you're not like phase like as phase the case they have a lot of
exactly.
money they can do that, but it's maybe exception on that. But
I mean,
it's just
FaZe is
kind of the
mainly content
difference of.
creators too,
Oh yeah,
to be
but it's just
honest.
kind of a difference between it or when you want to do it. Um,
Right.
Kind of one more thing I kind of want to add up to is kind of kind of what was kind of the main reason why you wanted to start uh your own organization?
Um, well, I was a former owner of Cryptic, which is the father team, basically. It was the old name of Vendetta. And basically, it was myself, my brother, and one of his friends that were owning the org. And the reason why I started originally was because I felt like when I was playing, like it was back in maybe Black Ops 3, that I decided to consider making my own org. I felt like as a player, I wasn't getting treated the way that I should have, and I didn't want. I felt like other orgs were going to do that as well, so like I wasn't trusting myself to be in an org and having someone run and take the shots. Because nothing against like ZH22 when I played for them, but I felt like sometimes I was taken advantage of. Um, and that's when I like fully decided, because we ended Cryptic because of internal issues and everything. End of World War II, and I ended up taking on competitive COD again. And like I was going here and there from team to team, and ZH22 picked me up, and I ended up getting dropped from that team. I feel like they didn't give me a reason. They just kind of said you're dropped. And when I talked to like Juju and them, they ended up accusing me of lying. So that's when
He
it
was a
was
little
like
bit shady, to be honest.
yeah, and
That's when
that's
I
like
talked to
the
him the first time.
main, like the full thing, like what kind of flipped the switch in me to end up owning an org. And currently our rival org is Akira. Because I don't know if you saw, I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw what happened. I'm not really, unless if you want me to
Yeah,
touch
I
on it
saw
a
the
little bit
tweets
on
before. Yeah,
what
we talked about it.
happened behind the scenes of that. I can touch on it if you want to. Um, yeah, I'll just touch
Well,
on it.
we kind of knew about it anyways. It was
Yeah,
just kind of
I'll
a fight
touch on
between
it a little
something.
bit. So basically, Mayful wanted to coach our team, and we looked at her clips, and I realized that she kind of looked like a pub stomper. And I was like, I don't really feel comfortable having a pub player coach a competitive team. And so I talked to my players. I talked to like Todoroki, Senses, Zapper, and all of them. Because Lexity had just moved to a. He wasn't fully in the org yet, but we were considering him as a coach. Um, and I talked to the whole team, and they're like, yeah, we don't feel comfortable with her coaching. So we told her. Um, Todoroki kind of said it the wrong way, in my opinion. He knows it. He kind of said it that we don't want a girl coaching our team. And that's not what I said. That's not what any of the other players said, but that's what Todoroki told Mayful. So Mayful came to me and MSEPs and complained about it. And me and MSEPs said, we'll touch on it. Like, we'll figure out what happened. But turns out she was also talking to Akira, because she's dating Genesis, who's one of the players for Akira. And,
Oh wait, I thought he was on ZH22.
No.
I didn't know he
Once Akira started, Juju brought the COD team from ZH22 to Akira. I don't know if King touched on that or not in the
he kind of
episode 1.
did, but I don't think he mentioned. I thought. I don't know. I don't remember Genesis. I thought.
Yeah, he took
thought
Nappy, Genesis.
he took the whole team.
Yeah, he took that whole entire roster. And so basically, we ended up scrimming them. And at that time, things were happening. And me and M-Steps were watching Mayful's stream because they were like, okay, we need our coach in here. Because I was going to watch the game as well as Lex, who is now our main AR, who was our coach. So we moved to a player role. And basically what happened was she was actually calling out to the players, saying our player's exact location, saying, hey, there's 2 guys at circle on frequency, and saying, hey, they already rotated, hit the back, there's 2 people at pipes, stuff like that. So me and MSEPs got furious. And basically, we went onto Twitter, and I personally told the team, I told the COD team what happened, and they started going off. And I was realizing that it was starting to get heated. So I told both the players and MSEPs to stop what they're doing and just if they keep on talking, just ignore them. Let the game speak for it. Fortunately, the whole entire COD team stopped talking, but M-Step said a bad remark. He said something that was taken as sexist, and basically, Juju ended up actually, M-Steps ended up messaging me saying that Juju was trying to make decisions for me. He was trying to tell me how to run my org, which is basically what M-Steps told me. I've known M-Steps since 2014. I've known him for a while. And I've never known him to be a sexist or racist. And I was trying to tell Juju that. He's like, no, 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 no. He's sexist. He's this. He's that. He's Donald Trump's spawn. He's this, that, everything. And I didn't take it too lightly. And I ended up calling out Juju. And I said, you need to stop telling me how to run my org and let me handle my business. He's like, I bet you $100 that you don't punish M-Steps. And I had to decide.
I guess happened.
What is better for my org, or do I want to keep friends around? So I told M-Steps, I was like, we're putting you on probation for 2 weeks. And he is not allowed to have contact with the players in the org. And during that time period ends tomorrow. And that's when I'm fully going to decide whether or not the situation has ended and if it's safe to bring him back or not. Because he's been contacting rosters and stuff like that to try to get players in Vendetta, even though his title as COO has been terminated. So he's been still helping me out a little bit. And we also versed Akira, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And me and Juju was talking, and we were just talking about the situation. He's like, yeah, everyone hates M-Steps. I was like, okay. Like, I didn't take it as anything. And my team ended up destroying his roster right after they were talking smack. And my team ended up not dropping a map against them and even winning 250 to 53 on frequency hardpoint. Like, that's a big swing from what they did beforehand when Akira was cheating and they ended up winning by 6 seconds. Compared to what my team did in the second scrim and won 250 to 53, won 250 to 196, and then I had a sub in and we ended up winning 250 to like 203. So we didn't lose a single map in hardpoint, and they ended up leaving right after that. And they didn't play us. So I consider them a rival. The COD team doesn't consider them a rival, doesn't consider them competition at all. No slack against the COD players. Like, I respect them all. But if you're going to get smacked by, like, that hard after talking shit, can't happen. Like, you understand what I'm saying, right? In terms of that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
especially when you org owners are going at it, like myself and Juju, like me and him have a history. Because I was part of ZH22. He was part of ZH22. He was one of the people that were accusing me of lying. So then when I decided to step down and leave, because they were offering me different positions in ZH22, he ended up starting Akira at that same exact time. And so
They started
like,
because of the rebranding. I think that's the reason Juju wanted to start Akira, because he knows ZH22 was going for a rebranding.
Probably.
He didn't want to be.
Like
He don't want to be
King
taking leadership.
Kind of had a little more information than everyone else about Juju, and I felt kind of offended because I was talking to King during that situation. Like, King was backing up Juju in the whole entire situation, saying, yeah, all this, all that about Juju. And I was like, you need to understand what happened. I was like, Akira cheated and they should not be allowed to cheat. And King was like, oh, I've known Juju longer than I've known you. So I kind of felt like, I don't know if King is watching this or anything, or if he's going to watch it back, but I kind of felt like, okay, you're an org owner for a team that I was in, and now you don't want to back me up in a situation that a team cheated. He ended up telling me that he was just doing it so the situation will stop. Like, I agree with that. I wanted that situation to stop. I didn't want it to go any further than it had to. Unfortunately, it did. And that's where we stand today, between Vendetta against Akira.
I can't really have say on that because I don't want to. Oh, it kind of cause controversy, but I don't know if he's gonna see the video or not. If he does, it's whatever.
Like, I'm not trying
Again,
to
it's just the kind of shady business of a small.
Yeah. I mean,
Juju's just a dick. Juju's just a dick sucker. That's all I gotta say. I don't know. Hopefully he sees this video.
Yeah.
I hope he just sucks my dick.
Yeah.
Because you don't offer me a COD manager position without experience.
Like,
so
Juju,
we're gonna.
like, he was a
COD
competitive player and stuff like that. He wasn't that good at COD, even when I was playing against him and stuff. Like, before ZH22, I haven't heard of him. I've heard of ZH22 in the past, but I haven't heard of Juju and stuff. And I ended up facing him right when I joined ZH22, and I was like, who is this kid? Like, nothing against him, but I was like, who is this kid? So, basically, it was just a rivalry from the start, but it went on to an org level. So, Juju, if you're watching this, like, your COD team needs work. And, okay, let me say something, okay? So, M Steps is a Rocket League fan. He likes Rocket League. He knows every single player that is in the Rocket League scene. Juju told me that they were picking up 3 of the top 100 players in the world for Rocket League. I went to M Steps with this, and I was like, please explain. He's like, message him to say the names. I messaged him saying, who are these kids? No response. To this day. And that was 3 days ago. So either
Actually,
he's not saying anything because of the fact that he knows that I'm going to catch on that these kids that he's picking up aren't actually what they say they are, or he's not even picking up a Rocket League team.
Actually, I think I met Juju in the online lobby. I actually did met Juju online lobby because I screenshotted it.
Juju XCL, I think it's.
Yeah, I met him in a hardpoint lobby with. If I'm gonna try to look while I drive. Not gonna be a stop sign. King was in the lobby, so I met King without actually. That was funny. I actually met King while I didn't have a contact. Though I think I was contacting Jarl at the time. I don't think King know me. Gabriel and M Steps. So I was in 3 of the people. Gabriel's the only person that has never been mentioned in the conversation. Everything you mentioned so far, I met him in the lobby. That one lobby. I was on top of the leaderboard.
Yeah. M Steps was part of ZH22 for a while. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
He basically joined right when I was joined, but he was on a different roster. He was on the roster of Gabriel. Gabriel ended up being traded to my team under ZH22. We ended up dropping him to pick up Cats, Panda. No, wait, that roster was Max, Remix, Cherry, me, and Protocol was the final team that we had. And then Remix, Nax, and Cherry left. And we picked up and we dropped Proto. We picked up Nax, Genesis, Cats, Panda, I think it was. Yeah, that
I
was the
think Panda's
roster.
still on ZH22.
Yeah, same with
That was the
Cats.
one that
Cats is
plays.
now known as Turtle. And Turtle, and Panda are brothers. So it's like a whole thing and stuff. Um, I think if you go far back enough, you're going to see a Twitter live that I did calling out ZH22 players and stuff. I wasn't calling out King or anything. I was calling out Juju. I was calling out Loyal. Uh, those people in the org and stuff. Um, and basically, uh, whole thing went down. Everything. That's really when the rivalry between me and Juju really started. So.
Okay, we're gonna kind of split away from the topic.
Yep.
Thanks for that was kind of long than expected.
Yeah.
Thanks for the insight on the controversy.
Welcome.
That was kind of question when we first talked, but today's kind of topic we want to focus on is kind of the microtransactions in video games. Is it kind of I think do you think it ruins the video game standpoint, like the game
Yes.
overall with microtransactions, and kind of what do you think of it overall
Um,
in recent years at least?
recent years, I'm gonna mainly point off on Call of Duty and stuff, not mainly on GTA and stuff like that. But GTA is definitely a bad thing that happens too. Supply drops in Call of Duty.
That was back in AW. I
Supply
think that's the first
drops,
time I noticed
black
it.
market, stuff like that. And like AW and so on and so forth. I feel like the term pay to win exists. It definitely exists. Because some of the DLC weapons in Call of Duty overpower. They definitely overpower some of the regular guns. Like I remember it was AW and it was the bow. And they came out with the DLC
Oh,
version of the bow. I don't know
I
if
don't
you
think it was
remember
DLC. It was a
this.
variant.
It was a variant, yeah.
Obsidian Steed.
It was
I
like
think.
gave more accuracy, gave more range and damage. And if you were using a regular bow, you were losing that gunfight in 2 bullets. So it's like
Yeah.
the term pay to win definitely exists. I know people will disagree with me on that because they're the type of people that will pay to win. And I personally feel that if a person has to pay money to win a match, they should just not play the game. Because whether that's your own money, whether that's your parents' money, it's just a waste of money if you have to do that. Like, play the game the way that's supposed to be played. The way
Yeah, I
that's
remember AW.
designed
That
to.
was that was the first year that they came out. It was
Mhm.
I know supply drops. They announced it was a big announcement. Because they had the variants of the weapons. Those were really not good. I think I played a lot. I know. I never paid to win. I never paid any
Mhm.
Well, I don't think I paid for any supply drops in AW
Mhm.
or Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4. I'm not gonna count Black Ops 4 in the mix. IW, whatever game they had it.
World War II.
When they announced the variant, well, when the variants came out, I got kind of lucky with it because I used to play a lot of AW. I think it was before I switched to the Xbox One. It's kind of the last game I kind of fully committed to
Mhm.
for Call of Duty FN 360. I kind of got lucky with the variants I got. I never had to kind of pay for any kind of supply drops The last weapon, people really hyped back in the day. I think it was the ASM1 Speakeasy. I never got that
Yep,
weapon until I think
I remember that.
the extra prestiges. I think it was Prestige 27. Like that's when I got it. Also, I got the Obsidian Steed real early. I got the HBR A3 Sandy really early. I think I got like more sniper variants. I basically got kind of lucky with the weapons I had early in the game, and I kind of
Hmm.
didn't really do anything. So I didn't have to really
Yeah,
use the pay to win factor. That was the thing. That's the problem with kind of games today. It's just you're not guaranteed it. It's just you pay $2 and you're guaranteed. Okay, you're gonna get some fucking clothes. That doesn't make sense. You should if you're gonna be guaranteed, you better be guaranteed like a weapon, or you
hmm,
just buy a weapon off it. Like I think IW
right.
did it, where
IW did where you can buy guns. I do remember
yeah,
that.
you
where
spend
you
the
can
credits.
actually
I'm
buy
fine with that.
guns like on the credits
Yeah,
and
I'm fine
stuff.
with that.
Yeah.
But when you have
Rainbow
to
Six
trust,
Siege does the same thing where you earn those credits, where you play and earn those credits per game to be able to buy a gun in that. Like you're not
well, operator.
paying any money or operator, yeah. It's like everything in that game you have to earn.
Well, you can pay Rainbow Six credits to get an operator, but it doesn't really matter because there's no you can defeat them easily. That's not a game, but like especially when because it's weapons, you can defeat like that game. You just need to hit your shots. But if you're talking about Call of
Right.
Duty, where it takes a couple more shots, it's important that you don't give them a really like overpowered variant of the gun, or you have a weapon that's a DLC variant that's probably more overpowered than about 90% of the guns in the game. You need to have like if you're gonna have a DLC weapon variant, a DLC weapon, it has to be something fun but not game breaking. And
Exactly.
that's kind of what's been happening. I think especially with the
I
black market
definitely, I
system.
definitely saw it in World War II, because I mean, I originally started off with S&D, back in like Black Ops One, where it wasn't really a thing to pay to win and stuff. And I moved on to variant mainly in Black Ops Two, and then the jetpacks. I was playing in tons of tournaments and stuff, and they allowed that stuff in the tournaments. And I can guarantee you, I lost a bunch of tournaments because of the fact that people were using those types of guns, the ones that you pay money to be able to win and be able to get more damage,
Or you get
get
lucky
more
with it.
accuracy. Right. Like I've like I won maybe like 8 tournaments in AW, and I didn't pay a single dime for any guns. And
Well, it's
like
kind of hard to.
I
Well,
don't
actually, you go.
pay money to like get stuff unless if it's like a requirement in the game. If it's a requirement in the game to be able to move
Which
on
they
to
don't do.
something else.
They don't even do it
Right.
if it's a requirement.
So it's like, why would I buy the game for $60? And even with Black Ops 4, like I bought the season pass to be able to get the new maps because I wanted to get the DLC maps and stuff. I paid probably $80 for the game, and I pre-ordered it as well. Paid like $80. Ever since then, I haven't spent any money on that game. Any money. And I got it on release date. I've just been playing the game. Even with GTA. Like GTA, I did. I didn't pre-order it, but I got it like 2 months after release, and I was playing it on the PS3. So it was a whole different spectrum. And finally got on Xbox One, and I still haven't paid any money for it. Still haven't put any money onto it. Any game that I play, I buy the game and I play it. I don't pay
Yeah,
money
that
in
should be the
game.
purpose.
Like, if you have to, if you have like the mental capacity to be wanting to pay money to enjoy the game, why would you buy the game? Like, if you have to pay more money in game to enjoy it, just don't play it. Because then that's just a waste of money, especially in Call of Duty. Because a new game comes out every year. If you pay
$60.
X amount of money to buy the game and then pay money in game, the next year you're going to waste more money. You're paying $60 each year, whether that be October, November, or if you get it for Christmas. You're going to be buying the game for a certain amount of money, and then if you, like, why would you end up paying more money in game to be able to enjoy it?
Oh, that's the thing. I think it's probably in every game because they want to have an advantage. You know, they're gonna be. I think, to be honest, unless you're kind of a talented player, they want to kind of match up to the talent potential. But the problem is,
Right.
they feel like they can destroy because they're not having the strongest weapons. They're not. You know, they're not. But the thing is, if you're gonna play a video game, you don't have to pay for it. You should not have to pay anything that would give you. Well, maybe it's a gaming product, but not like in a video game where you buy
Give
weapons.
you a
You can
boost.
shit on anyone with any weapon. It's just how you perform. It's how you do. It doesn't like don't blame. Oh no, like probably an AW. I think, to be honest, I don't know if AW tournaments. I never really did too many GBs there. I don't know if they actually. It's kind of hard to tell if they have their variant weapon anyways, unless they drop it, because you
Right.
know you're gonna verse up a Bal anyways. Um, but it's just if I don't know. It's just I don't really see a purpose just to kind of really do it. Plus, in recent years, I think because they have been focusing more on cosmetics. I think Black Ops 4, I
Yeah.
don't think, actually Black Ops 4 they do drop weapons, but none of them have been kind of really OP. Um, uh, they, I think cosmetics, I think even cosmetics are fucking stupid.
hmm
First thing, in a first-person shooter, you're not gonna see anything. So you're gonna pay
Right.
supply drops for stuff you can't even see when you're playing, unless you're dying, unless you see a dead body 20 billion times. Then there's no point of buying it. Like just it's just no point of really buying it. Just get it from just a random supply drop from the black market. That's fine, but just
Yeah.
there's no point of really buying it. Just if you can just you're gonna just get cosmetics. That's really problem with Activision is they think they're gonna make more money. They think they're making a lot more money from supply drops. Although first thing, it's just cosmetics. It's not like
Right.
people will pay more if they were given an opportunity to get weapon variants or weapons or something like that. But that's the thing is they think that, and then they just do a little bit too much, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't work.
Do you?
Oh,
You
I'm
might
very
remember
soon.
this, but in World War II, feels like forever ago was World War II. Um, but do you remember when they came out with like the CWL team camos and the skins, stuff like that?
I actually didn't play that much World War II, but I'm guessing I think I knew
It
about
was
it. Yeah.
towards the amount of time period from Anaheim to Champs. Roughly in that time period, they released CWL camos and skins. So like Optic, Vitality, FaZe, Envy, EG, teams like that. And people would buy, I don't remember the exact amount because I didn't pay for it, but I think it was like $25 for just one team. And there's people that had almost every single team. Their emblem, their calling card, their camo, their skin. Like it was a whole bunch of money that people were spending just to get something that they can only see when they look in the menu, because they can't really see their emblem and calling card when they're in the game. You can't. So it's like
Well, the other person can.
people were spending tons of money for something that they can't even see in game. Like that's the problem with Activision and these gaming companies. Like they just want money, basically. Like Activision has been good in the past on people liking the games, but these last few CODs have been pay to win with the supply drops and stuff like that. Like companies can't be doing that. Like you're already making money off of people buying your game. So, and it's basically like a huge scam. Pretty much a whole scam.
I think to be honest, the reason they do that is, I think one reason that, I think I watched a video earlier about Midnight Club where they didn't have enough money to make profit off it because I think one thing that people haven't considered is how much, I think the reason they do this is because they have to make the game for the next generation. Especially
Yeah,
how much it costs to make a video game. It can cost hundred millions of bucks. You know, GTA 5, that costed 270 million. They made that back in like a couple weeks, like maybe like two
exactly.
days. But I don't know why. Well, I don't know how much they have to pay for server maintenance. You know, I don't know if they have to pay money for that. I don't know. Kind of just maybe employee payments, but
I think they
um,
do. I think they
we
have to
don't.
pay for that
The
stuff.
full thing. I think people don't know about the story of why these microtransactions is. It could be something with it's annoying. It could be a waste. I know it's a waste of money for a lot of these people, but there could, I think, a reason that could exist is because of trying to improve for the next game. They're trying to fix up the, like, I don't know how much it would cost to fix up an engine. Maybe they're using it to improve the headquarters. Improve the facilities.
Right.
I don't internet. I really that could be a reason why these microtransactions been coming up next year because you want to be more high tech than the next
Right.
company. That's the only reason I could see the reason why microtransactions have been in place. I think one or two reasons. First thing, you want to give people stuff that
Hmm.
just want to give people stuff, or I think it's supposed to help improve the company's standards. That's I think the only reason microtransaction. I think the first thing I mentioned is like, oh, people, let's just release cool stuff to the public and let them pay for it. But I think the
Yeah.
second thing could make more sense, but we don't know the full story. I don't have any kind of talk with the game developers, so
Yeah. I can see
um
both sides of it. Um, with like, because I know some people that develop games. Like I personally know them on like a certain level that I talk to him on a daily basis. Like one of my friends, his dad uh, creates old-fashioned games. Like he takes a certain arcade thing, puts a whole bunch of games, develops all of them, and puts them into one thing. It's like an arcade thing. It's like one of those like Pac-Man, Tetris kind of things. Like that kind of like system. He does that for a living. I know someone that develops games for kids with special needs, stuff like that. And I know people that, and they do that kind of stuff because of the fact that they need to make money because it costs money to make the game.
maybe the people ask for microtransactions too because they have to set up these tournaments. But again, MLG kind of runs it. I don't know. I kind of have a mix. I think Activision. Maybe the reason they could have to set up the tournaments, set up these big tournaments every couple months. They probably need the money to fund that, like fund the building maybe to reserve or something like that. Maybe that could be a reason, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know how much money MLG. I don't know how traffic jams here, but MLG makes to kind. I don't know if MLG or act. I don't know how much MLG contributes to funding these tournaments or the leagues or whatever.
I don't know.
But that could be
Actually,
a reason. Is
that's
just the reason I ask is by funding all the esports
right.
stuff. That could be a reason.
Because like games that have like high end competitive scenes like Overwatch, Call of Duty, League of Legends, CS:GO, like those games, the game developers, I think they help pay for the events. So that's why they have those transactions in the games because they need that. But I feel like if you're just a casual player, like I could see it on a competitive standpoint easily. If you're just a casual player, um, there's really no need to do it. I mean, yeah, you're getting cool shit, but you're just ruining the game for you and ruining the game for the for others that want to play the game just for fun. Like, if you're competing, making money, helping contribute to stuff, like yeah, then you can get that stuff. But just as a casual player, like there's no need to do that. I don't know if you
Especially, I think.
agree with that or
Well,
not. That's your opinion
I
and
think
stuff.
one game
That's
that does it
personal
is
thing.
the Dota 2. They have
Yeah.
Dota 2, the international. They have this special. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell it's called, but they it contributes all the whatever they bought. Some of the revenue goes to your tournament, which is I think fine because they know it's
Mhm.
going to a big prize pool. People are excited about it. It's a competitive scene. But where Call of Duty, well, I don't know what they do in Overwatch. I think Rainbow Six too. I think the Six Invitational they had I think these Pro League sets or yeah, I think these like Pro League sets and
Mhm.
whatever you bought from the store it actually contributes something. But we don't know what the Call of Duty standpoint is. We don't know what it contributes to. Does it contribute? We don't know the full story of why these assist. Like if we knew the full story of why these microtransactions assisted, then maybe we'll understand it. Maybe we'll buy. Is it contributing to these turn? Is it contributing to the prize pool? I think. I don't want to hear the excuse of we need corporate funding. We
Right.
need funding so we can
Like I
we
don't want to hear that
but
either. And for the viewers, this stuff is coming from two people that come from the Call of Duty scene. We don't know what Call of Duty does behind the scenes, but we seem to know what other games do, like Rainbow Six and stuff like that. Sometimes, like I can attest to this. Sometimes companies don't announce stuff. Like there's been times when I've tweeted at Activision, and like Activision has liked my tweet, and I DM them asking them about this pay to win stuff, about all this other stuff about the game. No response. Like some
well,
companies do not want to give out information. And I can agree with that. Like it's their organization, let them do what they want to do. But I feel like as a person that plays the game, I kind of have a right to know what I'm getting myself into.
true
I don't
on that
know if
one.
you agree with that. So
Well,
it's
you
just
kind of want to know the full story.
Yeah, like everyone wants to know what their favorite game developers are doing. Like my little brother, okay? He plays Fortnite. Or he did. I don't know if he still does. Um, but he was almost tweeting at Epic Games almost every single day, asking about stuff, asking about different skins, stuff like that. And they one time replied to him. And I don't know how many times he tweeted at them. Had to be countless. Me, I grew up around Call of Duty. I can't even tell you how many times I have uh, ended up tweeting at Activision, asking them why in the world do we have microtransactions in Advanced Warfare, in Black Ops 3, in RW. Sorry, my mic just fell off my head. Um, in World War II, in Black Ops 4, like in those games, why in the world do we have microtransactions when we're just trying to play the game? And like companies don't
Um,
want to touch on that.
okay, so we're gonna kind of switch up the Call of Duty topic. And I'm gonna kind of really go in depth on. I think you really went off on Call of Duty as a standpoint based on
Mm,
your personal and community level systems. I kind of wanted to talk in the game that we're actually participating in right now, which
yep.
I we could probably switch to Call of Duty if that was gonna be the case. I think with GTA, this has been one of my most played games. I have like 55 days in this game. That was really disappointing. That's why at a high level. Um, and the one thing I really don't like is shortcuts. Um,
Okay.
First thing it just does not make any. It's like a credit system. It's like COD points. You got a certain
Mm,
amount of credits. But the thing I don't like about it is just why this just ruins the game. This just absolutely ruins the standpoint of you grinding. This is Call of Duty. You can have on and off games. You can get better over time, but you can't pay to But it's just this game. This is the game based. I only bought one shot card. It was $20 so I can get some explosive bullets. That's all I bought it for. I haven't bought. That's the only time I bought it because I wanted some explosive bullets for my AR. That's it. That's the standpoint. But everything else was hand bought, hand grilled. And people want to use the system of buying shortcuts. This is a game where you don't. This is a game where if you're gonna, you have to grind.
hmm
It's fun to grind, but I just don't like how people kind of really use it just for cheap, easy money. Like people, especially how much everything costs in this game. I would love to grind for that. I really probably not gonna like the prices. I want everything probably cheaper, but I would love to grind for it just because it's worth the money. It's worth the $60 I paid for just to grind for this
Yeah.
game and play it overall. But it's just I just don't want anyone spending 20 to $30 to get some OP ass bike with missiles.
Right. I agree with that.
And it doesn't make any kind of sense. Um, Especially if you're wearing first thing you want to, I wouldn't really care about making money at a standpoint. You made one, they made this is the most valued game on the planet. This is the most valued entertainment thing on the. This has the most made the most profit. I think it was $6 billion in revenue. I don't know revenue or profit or whatever the case is.
Right.
I don't know why they didn't focus on my transactions. Um, I'm fine with it if they did not. Some people pay eight. It's a 99. They spend $100 for $8 million in GTA money
Yeah.
instead of grinding for it. And they even released I think a couple years ago it was the Criminal Enterprise pack where it was I think 40 extra bucks where you got $1 million as a startup. That was a horrible idea. I don't know
Right.
who came. I didn't. It was expanded. I don't know who came up with the idea to have people have a head start and pay for addition.
Right.
It just
I
does
really
not
don't
make any
know.
sense. If this is a game of grinding, this is a game of okay. Let me let me see how I can make money in creative ways. You know, there's all this stuff you can make money, but people are too lazy to do that. They don't have time in their hands. This game's you can make 100K easy on this game. May
Right.
now I think the reason they came up with I think shark cards have been kind of populated back. Shark cards, I think you go back to 2013. This I I don't know if they had a. I think that's the first time I noticed that there was microtransactions. I think it was GT. Okay, I'm not gonna count. I think I know it's Black Ops 2 camos and all that. That I'm not gonna count that one because that was nothing
Mm.
overpowered about that. But um, it was the first time I noticed microtransactions. It was like, oh, free money. Oh, no, $20. And people kept buying and buying and buying, and they're level 46, and they have all this shit that we don't have. That a level 136 who hasn't bought crap yet hasn't had. And it makes it so just gross that people have um all these nice stuff. This car is 2 million. This is the most expensive car I have in my garage, I think, from Legendary Motorsport. It's
Mm.
2.5 million. I actually grinded for that money. I found a way to make, I did abuse looking for group posts. Like, that's the best way to make money. I grinded. I did vehicle cargo to try to buy my bunker, my MC businesses. The CEO office. I tried to upgrade my CEO office because I wanted better. I wanted more.
Right.
I could have sold. I sell it. You can do that, but you gotta work for that car. You can't, go here, go to this. Here, I'm gonna do it on my screen so if I can see it. Go press this Xbox Store button and just say, oh wait, it just shows something on the screen. Cash, Red Shark Cash Card, $2.99. Megalodon, $85, $8 million. The Prigus Predator, and then you got packs. Well, Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, $10. They give you $10 million of content. And then there's go. There's more packs right here. Criminalized Starter Pack. What a great White Shark bonus. So you get more money added to what you just bought with the pack that has given you so much shit. It
Right.
gave oh wait. Oh no. Oh, sorry. Had some issues. I don't know what's happening in my game. Okay, fix it. Um so I think my game had a seizure for a second, but I have all these packs right here, and it just come on.
Yeah.
If you're dedicated, if you there's a reason you paid $60 a game because you want to be a criminal.
Right.
And there's a pack called Criminal Enterprise. First thing, for a criminal, I think for the word criminal enterprise, yeah, there's no. If you're gonna have a startup, you're starting with no money. If you're gonna name the part criminal enterprise and you're a noob, you're level one. How do you become a criminal kingpin that quick? Based on the name, you
Exactly.
think about it. Um, and it just and then they give you these packs. You have to pay 15 extra bucks for. Oh, I'm gonna try to drive fast as I can. I don't want to be in gang attack right now. But it's just. I don't know. It's just doesn't make sense because I think video games you should be able to grind in. You should be able
Right.
to work to get all the shit, and it should not be given. It should not be given to you.
Exactly.
Um, You know, I literally bought everything in this game. I can list you everything on here. We got a vehicle. I'm gonna show you. You're not gonna see the map, but I'm gonna drive you to everything I own and what I bought it for. So we're just gonna kind of do a quick cruise, but it's just while we get to drive every destination. Just I. Okay, so here's the first destination, the vehicle warehouse. About 2
Okay.
million. I think 1.5 million, 2 million. Bought it all. Um, and it was, you can make that back easily if you decide to use your wisely. There's a reason to some call YouTube. If you use YouTube wisely, there's a reason YouTube is so good. And that's the problem is people don't want to grind. Don't want to
Mm-hmm.
find effective ways. You know, just if you, there's a reason you bought it. You researched it, and then you're gonna say, oh. And one thing I really don't like about these shark cards is if, and it's just the lack of grind, and it's can also contribute to shark card grabbing is because people don't want to buy product. Want, and this is the annoying part about everybody who does this is they want to sell. They sell a car. They sell the car they bought. It was a 4 million. They, you know, probably with all the upgrades, is 4 million bucks, and then they sell it because they want this other vehicle and they don't have enough money. Well, how about this? You don't need to be in a rush. How about this? You don't look at your mom's credit card. You don't touch mom's credit card.
Exactly.
You don't you don't touch your mom's credit card. You don't sell your vehicle that you worked hard on. That you probably also paid shark cards with. You grind.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what should be in a video game. If you're gonna, it's same. I think Rainbow Six is my nightclub right there. That's about 5 million, somewhere around there.
Right.
If you're gonna play a video game, you should. I think Rainbow Six is also a great example. People buying credits. If you're gonna buying R6 credits, which is just kind of really, this is the game I give exceptions because you want to have a flexible amount of operators. But with that game specifically, you know, you probably don't want to run a you know, they give you the 10 originals in attack and defense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they give you that, you know, maybe one more operators. You have, you know, you, I bought every operator with renown. I grinded, you know, I wanted to learn. I want. There's no point of buying. I think in that game, if you're gonna, you know, you said you want this operator. How about, you know, you want this because it has the, you know, has the really overpowered SMG, LMG, has a great ability. How about you learn the operators that you have in your hand, and then you just grind and grind, renown and renown to
Mm-hmm.
get the operator you want. You know, that's tons of purposes. There's no way you should spend R6 credits on operators. Especially, you're probably not going to use all of them. That's the thing. People just tried once and they never have them as their main operator, or they never barely use it. I can admit I probably wasted a couple of thousand renown. Well, wasted some renown on some operators. But hey, I grinded for that renown. I wanted to try it out. I didn't pay any money. Blah blah blah. That's here's my clubhouse right here. It's this shitty ass building for about 2 million, 2.5. Um, but yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. That's kind of all I kind of really want to say on the topic of GTA Shark Cards. Um, kind of, kind of, I don't know. It's just they should have. I think just the lack of. I think every gamer out there, just the lack of effort to play the game and grind. You're too lazy to get your ass up and try to learn new stuff. Try to make money some effective ways. Like I learned so much stuff in GTA that did not evolve. That I have made enough money. That's all I gotta say. Like I got 4 million right. I got 5 million right now. Not spent it. because I'm saving up for something big. That's basically the end of my rants with shark cards and all that. So, you kind of got anything else you kind of want to talk about the topic with kind of microtransactions clients? If you're here. Okay, he's currently gone right now, but if he is, I don't know if he's here or not, but whatever. Um, and the thing is, I don't think microtransactions should. I think if your game is really good, your game is, let's just say, a 90 rating, how can you improve in a 90 rating instead of, oh, let's go get all these money grabbing machines, let's
Yeah.
see, get all these money making efforts. How can you improve quality Black Ops 4? How could you improve GTA 5? How could you improve these two games and give them great stuff with effective money making methods without cheating, without glitching, without paying shortcuts? That's the thing. People just don't want to grind, just the lack of effort. Like, how could you do that? Um, and I know you, guess you were not here at the time when I mentioned it. Do you kind of
Yeah.
have any, I was kind of done with my rant. Do you have any kind of other topics, anything else to talk about the microtransaction topic?
Um,
That, how could you improve the system? I think one thing is, I mentioned, um, they should,
maybe
unless
put
your game is a night,
limitations to it.
that could be interesting. I think maybe not, I think having a limit to spend on a certain amount. I think if they're gonna,
Mm.
I think GTA, even to keep shortcuts in, there's no way you should have a limit of how many shortcuts you buy per a certain amount of days. Like I say, example, you want to buy the Megalodon, that's 8 million bucks, 8 million bucks of cash for 100 bucks. You should not be able to buy it for 3 months.
Mm.
So you find a way to use those 8 million bucks you didn't grind for, that you took out your mom's credit. Well, maybe you took out your own credit card. That could be a case, but sometimes it's just your mom's or dad's credit card.
Mm.
Find a way to use that money effectively before you decide to, like, if you're gonna, like, they should give a time limit for each time you want to buy a shark card. Like, you just say you want to buy the one with 200K, you can't buy another shark card for the rest of the day, or like for 2 days. You want to buy them, the well, Megalodon, you can't buy another shark. You can't buy another shark card, any shark card for 3 months.
Exactly.
You want to buy the 1.25 grade white, you can't buy a shark card for 10 days. There's and this just influences kind of a system of just untrustworthy profit.
Mhm. I feel like,
In this,
especially like putting limitations on it. Um,
oh, you gonna say? You kind of trying to think about it. Oh, your mic's gone again. Yeah, I think limitations will kind of teach. I think, especially a lot of these kids, they probably don't. I think a lot of young kids, they probably abuse their mom's credit card. So they, it should kind of really teach people how to save money wisely.
yeah,
Uh,
basically, yeah.
overall,
My controller
is
keeps
that your
acting
cut?
up, so that's why
Uh,
my mic keeps on cutting out. Yeah, my controller's screwed up right now.
oh, what are you gonna say about the limitations? Sorry.
Um, basically, for companies like Rockstar Games and Activision, and companies that make games for
EA.
EA, uh, to limit how much you spend as well as what you buy. Like if you buy two of a certain thing, you should not be able to do that. you should not be able to spend X amount of money in a certain period of time. So, and in my opinion, if you're under the age of 18 and you don't have a credit card, there's companies that make sure that you have parent permission. Like they will email the parents. I feel like like companies like this should
Well, that's hard.
email the parents and or try to figure out if they actually are allowed to buy this stuff. Like if their
Oh,
parents
that's kind
allowed
of
it.
hard to do, I think, in a
Yeah.
certain. Well, it matters. Do they? Okay, just for example, this is gonna be hard because I don't know if I don't know if they're gonna. Well, maybe Microsoft does. So trying to. But I don't know if they're gonna. Microsoft's gonna have time to kind of prove for every transaction that. But first thing is they people. Oh, you're gone from lobby.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, for being idle too long.
Here I'll send you an invite again. Um, but one, I think, what was I trying to say? The thing is, they're gonna have a hard time track. First thing, everybody puts as an adult system. People put as a custom profile settings as adult, so it's kind of hard to tell if if there's a case of a kid actually buying it, um, actually buying the product, or is it is it actually adult? Like a lot of times they put the custom size as adults,
Hmm.
which can be really hard to kind of track because again they're not gonna really go in depth and say, "Oh, can we see a face? Can you take a picture of yourself just to make sure you're actually an adult?" Like I don't know if they're gonna
Like
go for that.
I'm
It seems
17 and I personally have my own credit card. Like I have that sort of stuff, but I'm not over the age of 18. I'm only 17 years old. So
see that's just
it's like,
yeah. It's just can you trust as an adult or not?
mhm.
Um, one yeah, that's kind of the big thing. I think if you're gonna do that, they should. The problem is, if they create, just say, for example, I think it's on my system. I create my own email. Like I created my own email. I'm the only one with the password, and then I have my parents' credit card on there. So I don't,
Mhm.
you know, I have my parents' credit card there, and I'm the only one that know the email. I'm just whenever I buy something, I'm just gonna, just say to give me a notification that you bought something. You're just gonna press. Are you fine? Oh, I'm gonna pick it up. Um, are you sure before you could, just I want to say it's like a verification. You know how they do verifications and that.
Yeah.
Just make activate it, like activate the purchase. Problem is, if these kids make their own accounts, they have their own parent credit cards hooked up. Oh, have fun! You're spending a lot of money. Yep, yep. Well, your parents might whoop your ass if they actually did see how much you made in transactions and all that. But it's just unless I think that's the only way you can kind of see it where there's a limit, like there's a kind of a limit. Like there should be 100. I don't know. This is gonna be hard to. I think it's like $100 limit to spend per day.
Yeah.
I think for a
Or a
certain
certain amount of like weeks.
if you pay for something over $100 on a purchase, you cannot buy anything for at least 3 weeks
I
or two
agree with
weeks.
that.
Like you can't. I know it's gonna probably suck because you got these video game adventurous. Well, unless you don't, like just say example, you buy a $60 game, you don't buy another game for. Well, no, I'm gonna let that one slide. But if you buy everything, I'm just gonna say you buy everything over $100. There's a
Mhm.
game, there's something, it has a bundle, has a season pass included with it, has a couple more gist and all that. You should not be able to buy another product for another 7 to 14 days, so you can make the money back. That's the thing. do you have? It's like people will just spend and spend, and like, how did you make the? And you just like you use your credit card or something like that, and you're not spending them. Especially video games. People, it's not it's not like sports or food. It's not essentials that you spend your money. This is something that's on and off. That this is
Right.
not a necessity. Video games is not a necessity. That if you just say it's food, food, medical, yeah, that's a necessity. The house, that's what they're not gonna question it about. But if you spend over $100, they should just you should not be able to buy anything. Just halt the Xbox store from buying everything because they want to, maybe I don't know how, unless you really video game as you yeah, unless you have video games as your career and you live in a team house
Hmm.
with everything paid for. That's the only situation I could see. Um, but overall, they if you shouldn't buy like everything over $100 you can't buy for some days. You should spend your money on something else. That should be the promotion Xbox should do with like stuff overall. They should just you have a limit. I
Hmm.
think a good thing you can do is have 50. I think 40. Mm, it's this game's hard. Again, you GTA 5. That's 80. Was it? Megalodon is $85 right now. Um, Over time, I think one thing that you can do is you have a $50 limit
Hmm.
per day. If you you know on add-ons. Actually, we'll do $40 on add-ons. And just say you don't spend any money for add-ons for a week. You get an extra $5 you can spend in in credits. Um, you just say every week you get extra $2 that you can spend on add-ons and for a couple
So
weeks and then
you're
40
you're
week.
basically saying that like Microsoft should track how much you spend per week, and depending on how much, it's going to determine
Well,
how much you get added on to add-ons. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So every week you start with you every 2 days. Just it's just putting a limit on how much you can spend on add-ons, and then it can just add up over time where you can get a lot of add-ons per one day. Although it doesn't, you just say okay, $40 per day. You spend your $40. You can't 40. We can do yeah 40 bucks per week. 40 bucks per week. If you spend the $40 on add-ons for that week specifically, just say okay. Let's just start on a Monday. You bought all your add-ons on a Monday. You cannot buy anything else that are add-ons to a game or a game that's under 40. No, actually, no. I'll let that one slide. You cannot buy any add-ons for any game for a week, and then next Monday you can pay $40. You can spend another $40 to pay for more add-ons. This was a this I it's a hard anything under $40, $40 under you can spend on an add-ons. Although that's
Hmm.
all you can buy. Is it gonna be you don't want to buy. Well, it's an ugly moped. But you don't want to. It's just putting a limit, and then you just say, okay, I haven't spent add-ons this week specifically. And then Microsoft gives you the ability. Okay, we since you didn't spend anything on the Xbox store, you didn't buy anything. We'll give you extra $5 that you can spend for the next week. And then you just say
Okay.
you don't spend the 45 buck at, you know, $45. Next week you go up another $5, and then it's every week you go up $5 till you spend something, and then once you spend, you know, I don't know, it's gonna be hard. Just say you're 100, you was a 16 weeks you didn't buy anything, $5 per week, just example. So 40 plus 80, that's 120. Just say you bought, 20. $50 in rainbow credits, and then you bought, just say like a one and a $20 shark card. That's $40. You dropped 80. 80 bucks. And then if you don't spend, I don't know how I want to say this. And then you don't, once you spend 80 bucks, once you spend those 40 bucks on the first week, you don't get anything added on till you drop down to zero in buying add-ons, or you drop down to a low price.
Okay.
It's kind of you kind of do you kind of understand it a little bit?
Yeah, I
I
definitely
know.
understand it.
Yeah, I think it was kind of really hard to explain. Like
Yeah.
it's like 80, you have 80 bucks left. You don't get money added on till you go, I think, under 40 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
You have the 80 bucks to spend. You have the 80 bucks that you're allowed to buy on add-ons. Or I think actually if you're over, I think one thing you could do, if you're over 60 bucks, you have the ability to buy a game. But you have the ability to buy a game at a discounted price.
Okay.
Just say,
Yeah.
it might sound, I know the company's gonna lose, but just say, okay, you're at, like, there should be a limit. Like, you're at 80 bucks. You have 80 bucks left. We'll give you one game that you can have a discount of 10% off. One game, because you didn't spend any of that. People will like that. Like, just say you want to buy the next Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare. It's $60 game. Well, you want to buy that. You get 10%. Since we got this reward system, you didn't. Actually, this is okay. This is kind of, it's gonna be a confusing system, I think, because of what I'm thinking about. You spent your microtransactions. You paid the 40 bucks. You're at 80 bucks left that you're allowed to spend on microtransactions. If you don't pay any of the 80 bucks for the next 2 weeks, you're allowed to have a game that is 10% off.
Okay.
And it can be renewable anytime. I know it's gonna, I think this 10% off Call of Duty, it's $5. Game's $55, and then you buy it. You still have the 80 bucks remaining. It drops down to 25. You don't spend you don't spend the 25 during the next week when you bought it. Then you go back up to 40 again. Like, there should be it should really teach a lesson on how people should. There should be a benefit of how to spend money. I don't.
I can agree
I
with
don't
that.
think I don't think the system's gonna work, but it is something kind of creative. Just because they know you're caring about something else. You're caring about your family, your home, your auto, your food and necessities, than spending on virtual credits.
Mm.
And people now if you go to GTA, you want to buy the $1 shark card, but you just bought you just bought actually we'll do you just bought like a shark card a week ago that's 40 bucks. Well, you restart 40 bucks again, but you're not allowed to buy it. Well, that induces for 16 week. Well, was it? I'm trying to think of the math. 12 weeks, because it's $5. You're getting $5 per week.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to buy a Megalodon shark card for 12 weeks, and that induces the chances to grind. And knowing that, oh, now it's grinding. Grinding is kind of cool because I have a purpose to playing the game now. And
Yeah.
I have a purpose of playing GTA 5. I don't have to spend, I don't have to rush for the Pressure Mark II. I can actually try to use my business a business effectively, do heists with other people, and make monies by whatever creative ways possible. It's a there's a purpose of grinding, instead of sitting there and just like, why I want this now. Like people, I think the problem is with video games. I think GTA Online and I think specific is people when they release new products they release new vehicles every week. They drift the app. This is a game that's I think honestly has been known for drift feeding. Which if you guys want to know for term for drift feeding, that means just dropping new items every week.
Yeah.
Like dropping one new card, and that's what it's been known for. And that will just kind of drop the need of having. Well, actually, it will help motivate people to actually grind, even with the drift feeding happening. Like I don't remember the last thing I bought. I don't like if I was actually in actual credits. The last thing I bought, the last thing I bought was micro DLC was the GTA 5 shark cards, which was only $20. That was the I think was the I'm gonna be honest with you, that was the last thing I bought when that was based on credits. That was not a new game. So
Yep.
that's kind of what the system. If they were gonna do that, even on the PlayStation Network, you play that. They should do that same system. So anything to kind of finalize before we go into our last topic, which doesn't relate to microtransactions? Like one less.
Not that I can think of. Pretty much we touched on everything that I can think of. You stated everything perfectly in terms of what you thought. And I agree with you on many of the topics. So really, I can't think of anything else than microtransactions.
No, the last. Okay, so this is the last topic we always do. Kind of to um. Although the first topic we talked about kind of went a little bit haywire. I thought it was gonna last 5 minutes, but it lasted about
Okay.
30. Based on the situation you had with Orgorners. This is kind of with the CWL Miami. Do you watch CWL?
Yes, I do. I do watch the CWO.
So this is kind of I don't I was thinking about doing this Thursday with another guest, but we'll do it 2 times in a row. So who do you out of the 16 teams, even the play-in? Okay, so first thing, give me the 2 teams that will make it out of play-ins.
Plans?
I'll try to get the brackets. Okay, actually, I'll give you the bracket once I get access to it. I forgot I didn't have that set up. I have a bracket. I think I have a bracket for it, and I'll tell you the 4 teams in each side. So here you go. Okay, so this is gonna be the first round. Team Envy versus UYU. What did you pick on that? Actually,
Team
no,
Envy.
actually. Oh, okay.
I think
We
Team
guess
Envy
those
will
that one
take
too. I
it
am going.
probably a 3-1. I think they're going to lose the S&D.
Next one is EG versus E6.
Or E6. I think Kismet has been playing really strong. I don't. I mean, Attaches and them have been playing strong too, but I don't feel like the clutch factor is there for them. And I mean, E6 has Kismet. He's been a clutch player all his career, even though he's more underrated. Um, I feel like E6 is definitely going to take that.
Okay, so the semifinal matchup for those 4 teams will be, what did you say, Envy versus E6. Who is gonna make it
E6.
to? Okay, we
E6.
got E6 for the first play-in bracket
Better
team.
S&D team.
So next to the bottom side will. Oh crap! I didn't go. Midnight Esports versus Elevate.
That's difficult
This one could
because
be.
the fact
This one could be
that
interesting.
if Midnight comes to play the way that I know they can, they're taking it 3-0. But if Elevate plays the way that they played against Optic until that round 11,
I can't
Elevate
believe
can
that
take it.
moment happened. I can't believe I saw them.
So
That Whalers was
I
looking
honestly
right at
think,
the bomb.
yeah,
Whalers was looking right at the bomb. How do you not see his
Honestly,
feet?
I don't know. Honestly, in my opinion, I think Midnight might take a 3-2.
I kind of want to go for that, but yeah, I think the problem with Elevator right now, they had an issue with they were I think it was recently they were gonna try to put in their substitute Pentagram. Um, for Lacefield, it was kind of a big thing. Pentagram got dropped from his amateur team. Now I don't think he's competing. He was like, how do you like, he was on a team ready to go to Miami, and then he gets
He
dropped
was on
because
Mazer.
of he no they went to hybrid gaming. This
Oh, they did. I
um
forgot about that.
he was supposed to I think they were trying to see how to I think they didn't remind his amateur team, the team he's doing for Miami open bracket. He didn't remind them that he was actually doing scrims or elevate to see how it works.
Mm.
And then they did never worked out. They forgot to explain it, and then there's a whole situation that happened. Especially hearing after the situation, I don't think Elevate's gonna take it. I think Elevate's gonna get 3-0 sweeps. So midnight for that
I'm
one.
thinking 3-2
Uh,
because of the fact that they haven't been looking strong lately. So I'm saying 3-2
well, midnight
because
had
of
that
that
great
fact.
midnight had that great week. In the last week of crossplay.
Yeah,
Last week of CDBL. Next one is this one's gonna be probably easy. Units, versus Luminosity.
Luminosity.
And you guess you going Luminosity next round?
Yep.
Yeah, I was guessing that.
One
So,
name, Brack.
okay, so
If Brack shows up for LG and shows that he belongs on the pro circuit, they're beating every team in that play-in bracket.
yeah,
No
they
matter
beat two.
who
So
they're no matter who they're pinned up against. So I have who was it? E6 and LG making it out? Yeah.
yep, I'll probably go the same thing. I think it feels reasonable. E6, they just I feel like the problem is they had in the past they didn't have really clutch potential. Kind of really they go the distance, but they just can't kind of
Mhm.
close it out. They don't have to they're not good at finishing maps. I think that was the problem in the past why they had that horrible record. I feel like they would like in the league if they actually clutched up a lot better, they would have had like a better record.
They would have made
But it didn't happen.
the actual bracket play without having to
Yeah,
go into plan.
I feel like they'll be the fourth team for Team Division B. If
Fourth or
yeah, that's
third.
right.
I think they would have been tied, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, they would actually if you're thinking about it, that was they clutched up a lot earlier. They could have probably took over Heretics
Hmm.
for that Division B. So now this is we're not gonna. Okay, we got your playing bracket predictions. Who is winning the CWO Pro League playoffs? The overall thing.
You know what? I'm an Optic fan all the way, but I don't think unless if they play like they have, like without trying out that stuff, I think E United is taking it. E United or 100 T. If E United can beat 100 Thieves, same with Optic, one of those teams is taking it.
So you're
But
going with are you going with E United?
I'm I'm going with E United because of the fact
Oh.
that all five of their players have been looking strong. They've been playing their best Call of Duty in a while. Clayster, he hasn't won an event in over what 400 days.
No, it's 1,000.
Five.
It's AW.
What the
AW
heck?
Season 3
Oh,
Finals.
yep, it was.
Season 3 playoffs.
I think,
AW.
in my opinion, he deserves to win a championship. And the type of numbers that Simp
He's
has been
twice
putting up
second twice this
in
year.
his rookie year, that's crazy. And then
What
you have
rookie?
Arcides and Bristini. Arcides, one of the best ICRs in the game, in my opinion.
Ah,
One of the best.
I
I didn't say the best. He's maybe in the
yeah,
top
you gotta go with
five.
Octane.
Arcides is definitely in the top five. I think Octane's number one. Definitely.
Okay, so this is. Oh,
So
I
I'm thinking
really.
E United.
Why I feel like this is what's gonna happen. Um, this is my prediction, but this is probably what's actually gonna happen. 100 Thieves is gonna win. I think that's good. I think that's straight out. You know, you go United. You want, yeah, they have a chance, but I think I'm expecting 100 Thieves to go 4 championships
Hundred
in a
Thieves
row
is
at this
yeah, Hundred
point.
Thieves is the favorites going into finals
But
and champs.
I'm gonna go with a oddball here. Um, and I'm going with rest. No, I was so close to saying that. I'm going with FaZe.
FaZe.
I think the reason if they have touched up this, I think they had that horrible crossplay. They're one of the strongest respawn teams. They're gonna have imagine if they beat Optic. They had two chances to beat Optic. They remember
Both
if they
times it
clutched
was
up those last
reverse
ones.
sweeps, I think.
No, the last one wasn't. The last one wasn't. Just imagine if they did good in those couple. They fixed up their respawns against the top two teams. That's the thing. They're good with the lower two teams. They're gonna have a hard matchup in round one. But
Definitely.
could you see us? But the thing is, they are really good. I think, to be honest, they always get the fucked up match. I think was last two tournaments they had Optic as their round one matches. And to be honest, the
I
first one
don't
in London didn't
think
go
at
close.
what was it, Anaheim? I don't think that was their first round matchup. I think that was their
Yeah,
round
it was.
two.
Yeah, it was. No, no, it was. They got fucked up. Yeah,
Or
that
was it
was actually the first one.
units?
No, it wasn't. No, they were loser bracket.
Okay.
No,
So
no. This is what I think. This is what they versed. They had Optic in first round. They got reverse swapped. That should not happen. I think if they can fix, they can have I think they play like a team. They play as a coordinated team,
yeah.
and they have. I think one thing I have to say is if Asim and Zuma don't show up, I think you can trust Zero, Celium, and Scraps to kind of perform at a level consistently. I
Hmm.
think Zero needs to do better with his ICR. I think against tougher teams, he needs to be more. I think more. He has to match up to Octane. That's all I gotta say. If in that first round matchup, they got 100 Deeps first round. If they can beat them, if if Asim and Zuma show up in their very aggressive roles, I think Asim just needs. I think Asim gets good grab slams in there. He plays fast. He can. He can. I think he's an impressive SOG that could be in the future. Maybe they want Simp, but they couldn't do that. Imagine if they had Simp on their team. That could have been a probably top three, top two.
Now let
Um,
me ask you a question. Do you
yeah.
think FaZe is going to go through the winners bracket or have to win two best of fives to get that prediction? Or I think, or no, it's single limb, right? Playoffs is single
No,
limb.
it isn't. No. It's only single limb for playing.
Okay. So, do you think that FaZe is going to make a winners bracket run or a losers bracket run to win your prediction?
Winners. If
Winners?
they can touch, they can. I feel like they can beat them SMD. If they can, I think these are the two top. I think. I think hands down, these two teams are probably the top two respawn teams. I think FaZe has. I think the difference is, can Zero match up with Octane? If that can, I think if Zero can at least be semi, I think the Sogs need to show up. I think you can probably beat out. I think if the Sogs of I don't know if Zuma's gonna run a Sog or a Maddox. I just say Zuma seem beat out Priesta and
Kenny?
Enable.
Oh yeah, it is enable.
This series could have a chance to go into. They could have a chance, but if Zuma and Asim don't show up, I
It's going to
think
be a
it's
cakewalk
just.
for 100T.
yeah, it's just gonna be an easy, maybe free one. But I think there's more motivation around this because they had that horrible crossplay week. They got fourth. I don't know, my car's not moving. They had that fourth place at Anaheim. They should have. They had two best of five. They had two um game five series with Optic that they should have probably won.
Hmm.
Like they could beat Optic. They could. I think they can beat Optic. I don't know how much, but if that's the case, and they didn't have Optic next round, they're gonna have. I think Optic has to. I don't know who Well, they're gonna probably have Optic next round because they're right there. If they can beat 100 Thieves, I think they can roll. They just need to have confidence with against those top tier teams. I think. Again, I think they can. They can honestly. I think they can honestly beat Genji. They can beat Splice. They can. They can beat Rest. They can. It's just.
That's another team that
They
I
will.
think can come away with
Plus,
playoffs
they
is
have.
Gen G.
I don't know. It's too inconsistent of a roster. That could be possible. I think. To be honest, it's just they need to get more. I think if Nagafin and Major Maniac can kind of pick up the pace a little bit.
Hmm.
That could again they have the probably the best sog duo in Havoc and Envoy. Well, maybe I go Simp and Abizi and then we go Envoy and Havoc. I think that's kind of. I think
Earlier
FaZe's
in the game, it
motivation
was
is.
TJ and Scump.
Well, that changed now.
Yeah.
Um, but if FaZe can just say they have that 2-0 they have a 2-0 start against 100 Thieves. They just need to play if they overly dominate them in game 1 and 2, which they kind of I think kind of did with the first Optic series, but then just lost control. They just need to, I think they just need to play with some hype. I think they don't have a. The thing is, if they have someone who can step it up, kind of act as IGL, it's like Crimsix's role. Zuma. I think Zuma's a really hype person. He's plays fat. It's just can you
Mhm.
get those songs to the potential? And if they get those songs to potential, I think they have a chance. They have a chance of winning. Plus, also I like FaZe, so I think it's my favorite
So
favorite
you
overall team.
you
So that's why I'm
think
just
that they will make a winners bracket run? So you think that they're
yes.
going to beat 100T?
If if they
They're
if
going to
they beat
beat
100T,
every team.
they
Who do you think will meet them in the grand finals from the losers
100
bracket?
Thieves,
100 Thieves.
100 Thieves.
So you think it's going to be a rematch? Do you think it's
It
going to
will
a
be two
second
best
best
of
of
five.
five?
I think it would be two. I think it would go to two best of fives, but FaZe take it out 3-1.
Okay.
100 Thieves
I
gonna be
can
chill.
I
They're
can
gonna be
see that
done at that point.
somewhat. Um,
Optics having troubles right now.
yeah, I agree with that.
Genji can't decide a roster. LG does not have a John. John's the worst
I
player
think
one of the worst
LG
players
is
in the
going
game.
to end up getting paired up against Optic, getting 3-0'd, getting paired up against 100T, getting 3-0'd.
Yep, I don't know. I
I
just don't trust
honestly
the song
do
abilities.
I do agree with this may sound kind of weird, but I do agree with you saying FaZe is going to beat 100T because of the fact
It's a
that
possibility.
if you like, I agree. If you have that SOG duo of Zuma and Asim going off, and then you have Scraps going off, you have Celium going off, like they have,
There's
and you
no
need
problem with
a
the ARs. There's no problem with the AR
right.
mix. It's just the songs. And that's
Hmm.
probably the weakness with a lot of teams. I think you go with LG, for example. They have probably three great AR players, and then they just slacked. He's doing all right, but John is just having a horrible year. What am I trying to think of?
Formal.
Genji's kind of the opposite. Genji does not have the great maxes. Splice, they have
Splice has
um.
been up and down, really. I
Like
feel
it's
like
just
with
kind
the
of the soccer duos
addition
that kind
with
of choking.
Hook, that may be good, but having Temp and
No
Hook back together,
no. I just can't believe it. I think
Do you
another
think
team
that
can
they
go
should
with
have kept accuracy?
yes.
Okay.
No, actually no.
Who do
Well,
you think they
I don't
should
know
have
if
picked
Aqua
up?
you go with no. I think they should drop Aqua.
Okay.
You can look. Accuracy has an easy roll. Just needs to fucking hold up an ICR. You can have Temp do his fucking own thing. I don't know. It's just Aqua doesn't seem like just a trustable piece.
I feel like
It is
Aqua's
my
been
honest opinion.
overrated.
I don't know. He's all right. He hasn't. It just hasn't really looked too. I don't know. Like he has the potential. Like I think you go with the same potential as someone like. No, actually, not do that. I don't know. It's just if he can. It matters on how he does with ICR. I think he can. He can do good, but I don't know. It's just can he listen and all that. Oh, it's just he can improve with a role that hasn't really done that much. Well, that's the thing with Aqua. He's so inconsistent with the roles. I think because of last year's Echo Fox roster.
And
But
his, what was it?
Rise.
Rise from Black Ops 3.
Elevate. Well, I think it's Elevate because I
It
think
was
Rise Nation
Elevate
was
in Black
IW.
Ops 3. And then Rise Nation and IW. Um, and then Echo Fox
Um,
last year.
I don't know. I think
No.
he's just.
They get second? Or
It's kind of
no,
hard to
they
tell.
get, what, third
S
at Vegas.
no, second and Fort Ward, and then they just looked like shit since.
Mm.
And you have Temp on the team. I don't know. To be honest, I'm gonna go with a harsh opinion here. I don't think Temp's. I think Temp's an important player, but I don't think he's like. I don't know. I just don't believe
I
he's
don't think
superstar
he
status.
lives up to the hype.
I don't know. I think he's probably the best player on the team. I'm probably say that. But the people consider him like a top 5 player, and I don't think he's like a top 10. Top 10, maybe top 12. It's a lot of people you can probably go right over him, I think. Especially because people consider, they look at probably a lot of the list tops with max plays, but you forget about the SOGs that, have to deal with all the work. I think you have expanded him. Celium's I think Selim's better than him.
Yeah.
Even Slasher. And
Slasher's definitely up
Slasher.
there.
But it's just, can he kind of bring it? Can he kind of get his team going in these? Can he get us going when it comes to tournament time? And
I don't think
they're in
he
seconds.
has that in his arsenal. I
He
don't
got
think he
Looney,
has
so
it. Looney
got
can
Looney
kind
by
of bring Temp down to earth, but I honestly don't
he's
feel
known for his
like
IGL room.
I don't feel
That could
like
work.
with having Temp and Hook, two players that were pros at 15 and two players that were dominant when they were 15, and both have egos. I don't think Looney will be able to handle it.
Well, we'll see. Overall, but it just matters somewhat. Again, we just gotta see what happens. You gotta see how the gameplay shows. If they have a bad weekend, well, you're stuck with that roster for the
Champs.
stuck with that roster the rest of the year. So, that's gonna be the end of the show. Tonight. That was a great ass conversation. That was, I think, one of my longest episodes, and first time you kind of really. I felt like maybe the I don't know. Last episode went alright. I felt like I did a lot more talking overall, but it was, I think, first in this one. I think this one's probably the best episode because we kind of went on really long topics and we went like 3 topics. So do you have any shout outs do you want to give to anyone?
Shout out to Vendetta
hey,
Uprising. Shout out to all the players, the League of Legends team, the Call of Duty team. Shout out to my boy Vipers. Make sure to go check out his streams every single time he does a podcast. Make sure to go check
Should
out.
be a podcast on Thursday. I
Okay.
think so. I
Shout out to all the fellow orgs that are starting off small. Uh, Everyone's doing a great job on stuff that I've seen, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I don't. Okay, so last thing we're gonna talk about is I don't know if I really want to call this. I don't know if I want to explain to people when I want to introduce them into the show as like a podcast or a show, like a podcast or a show. I don't. I'm
You,
trying to understand the difference between a
eh,
podcast and a show. I think it's kind of a
okay,
show because the
yeah, it's more like a show, like Vendetta. We're
because we
actually
have
starting
topics
our own
specific.
podcast, um, based on different stuff in the community for the teams and the games that we compete in. Um, and I'm gonna have owners from different orgs in the podcast and stuff, and to discuss different stuff that's happening in the community in terms of orgs and owners. Um, so yeah, you can always go check that out. I'll DM you on Twitter. I'll shout it out on the team Twitter and everything, um, to let everyone know when we're starting the podcast. Our first guest is actually going to be our League of Legends captain, aka Sins. We were going to do it tonight, but there was stuff that happened on both sides, myself and Sins, um, which basically I ended up wanting to be on episode one, but wasn't there. I wasn't there for episode two, so I really wanted to
Well,
be on this show. So
we
I
got
basically
done.
freed up my
So
schedule. Yeah.
we got done with. So that was kind of a good thing. This is probably the only time where I think unless we do a special episode, I don't think I re-feature guests. So this is hopefully you're hopefully if I'm in the podcast we can talk for a little bit, whatever topic,
Mhm.
whatever we got. So we're just gonna chill. We're gonna end the stream here looking at a I can't always look at street light, but a palm tree. So yeah, hopefully you guys have a great night. This episode will be on YouTube. I'll export it once I and get offline. So yeah, next podcast show should be on Thursday, and the topic that I came up with is, are energy drinks good for you? So yeah,
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one, actually.
goodbye guys.